Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, and this show is brought to you by DraftKings, Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Great guests lined up over the next 3 hours. Plus, we have Game 6 tonight, Stanley Cup Final. We have the Euros going on again today with 3 more matches today, tomorrow. A Broncos preview coming up. Great numbers in Major League Baseball. And, Pauly, we will begin with, the Lakers got the guy they wanted all along, right? JJ Redick is going to be their new head coach, getting $8 million per year. And according to sources, evidently, great game plan. I hope so. I would hope that that was the case and that he blew them away when he interviewed for the job. Now, this is a guy who comes in who has never coached professionally. His only coaching experience to this point was with his son's youth basketball team, and he is taking over as the head man in charge of the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay.
Everyone says he's a smart guy and knows basketball. He was sought after by other organizations to be an assistant. You are starting at the top with no experience. We'll get to how it's happened before. It is hilarious that ESPN got rid of Van Gundy because they were so concerned he was going to take a coaching job, and then Doc Rivers and Redick did, the 2 replacements. So they have to start all over again. But his podcast with LeBron and just the X's and O's and walking through that, and it was a big knock on Darvin Ham and what he has planned, and everyone says he's smart. So we'll see if he can get it done. I know it's got to be frustrating, the fact that you could have had Hurley if you stepped up and offered more money and came heavy, which they only offered $70 million. So it is wild that this is one of the best jobs in sports and this great franchise, and this is the guy you're getting. But the next step is the key. Who do they surround him with? Because you're going to need you're going to have experienced guys. You see Stan Van Gundy. You see stuff like Rondo, Dudley, other names have been floated out there for assistants. Who they surround him with is very important with the next step.
Right, and then how much of it will actually be on him if the Lakers are successful. I will remind you that this is a team that is 2 years removed from going to the Western Conference Finals. Also this year, yes, it was a 5-game series, but they gave Denver all they wanted in those 5 games. They still have LeBron, who is going to be 40 years old this year. Doesn't matter. LeBron is still playing at a great level. We all know this about Anthony Davis. If he stays healthy, one of the best players in the NBA. If they add some parts in the offseason and they're good this year, how much credit does he get? How much will he deserve? How much will we know about JJ Redick as a head basketball coach after year 1? Mm-hmm. This is an organization that fired Frank Vogel not long after winning a championship. The one in the pandemic, the bubble 2020.
Yep.
And since Phil Jackson left in the summer of 2011, they have now had 7 different head coaches, 8 if you count Bernie Bickerstaff. He had a 5-game interim tenure back in 2013. I will repeat that. 2011, Phil Jackson departed. This is now their 7th different head coach. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's just astonishing. And I mean...
What do you think? I think I'm confident he'll be better than Ham, and I'm confident he'll be better than Luke Walton.
I can't say either one of those.
No?
Luke Walton, maybe. Why would you say that? Ham went Western Conference Finals. No credit? How much does he deserve for that?
Okay, I'll say it from an X's and O's standpoint, and also rotation and what he did. But, you see Austin Reeves' agent with put on X. He's excited and ready to go. Apparently, the confidence that they have in Redick from an X's and O's standpoint and putting the right people. A lot of this is also finding the lineups and putting the right people on the floor too. Which Ham went rogue to start last year as well with what Arash Markazi said when he was in studio with us too. So you're right. There's a lot of unknowns here. And
I'll also say this about Darvin Ham.
Yeah.
The guys who played well to help them get to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago did not exactly live up to that last year. So what is a coach supposed to do when the fringe guys, not named LeBron or Anthony Davis, aren't playing well?
Yeah, but if you make the conference finals, why wouldn't you dance with who brought you? Why would you change things in the following year? But certainly some of this falls on Pelinka. I mean, you got to make some better moves here.
Of course.
And bring in better personnel. And that's the next key step, too, who they bring in and help out AD and LeBron. So he's up against it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yes, he is.
You go back, and I don't like the Steve Kerr thing for a couple of reasons, because all the comparisons and guys who going back here. Kerr was a GM with the Phoenix Suns.
Did a great job with the Suns, by the way.
Yes, he was a great GM. And he also played under Phil Jackson and Popovich. So that's definitely going to help him out and his chances to be a good head coach, and he's been dynamite. So that's one thing.
And the reaction to, in the comparisons, like the Lakers are going to say this, they already did basically. The one report came out and said they want him to be their Eric Spoelstra. And I'm glad that people are like, are you really going to say this? Redick, again, he has coached his kids' youth basketball team. That's it. And they're like, well, Spoelstra, right? I mean, Spoelstra worked from the very bottom up with the Miami Heat. He was the video coordinator guy, and he earned it, and he busted his balls to get that job, and he's been one of the best in the NBA ever since. And you're going to compare Redick to him? Stop. That's absolutely idiotic. There's no comparison to make there. Now, I've seen some props up.
Well said.
Will Redick last 4 years? Yes is plus 120. I mean, is it going? How much time? We say this every year. How much time does LeBron have left? Right? And then what's his team going to look like? What does Pelinka do with the team after LeBron leaves? Over under 99.5 wins. If he goes over that, he's going to have to last at least 3 years. I don't think he'll get to 100 wins in 2 years. Would you agree with that?
I would take the under and all that. Yes.
Oh, you would? Okay.
But this is, okay, going back. Nash, disaster. Derek Fisher, disaster.
Oh, he was bad.
He was awful. Kerr, again, I don't want to, he's on that list, but again, Kerr was a general manager. Jason Kidd, pretty good. A rough start. Remember spilling the drink on purpose and everything.
Well, let me remind you, it did not go well. He had no idea how to use Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's true. That's true. He was lost in Milwaukee. Mark Jackson, again, I never saw the guy drop a play. I thought he was terrible.
He was.
Mark Jackson was an abomination, and he had the Splash Brothers. He was running post-ups for Jermaine O'Neal when he didn't have anything left in the tank instead of running stuff for Curry and Thompson, and then Del Negro so-so as well. That's the list going back to 2006, thanks to Evan Abrams, when you're talking about no experience.
Yeah, the ATS record's not great. Fisher, disaster, like you said. Kerr was great in his first year. Also, Steve Kerr, let's be honest here. I think he kind of knew that what he was getting into with Golden State. He probably looked at film and said, yeah, Mark Jackson, they're not running the right stuff here.
Yeah, the good point. You took over a team that made the playoffs, and you had Curry and Thompson.
You had Curry and Thompson,
yes.
And Curry was about to bust out, and he did fully break out under Steve Kerr. And it was pretty obvious what he had to do. And those guys were all entering their prime. And so, and they embraced analytics, and Curry was a total game changer.
Yeah.
And so but it took a brain in your head to figure out who you potentially had there. And the Golden State Warriors drafted exceedingly well for a long, long time as well. And they were not afraid to go out and get the fringe guys that they needed to do to help win a championship. Like, they were super deep in their runs, right? You could rely on guys over the years. Like Marcus Spates is a guy that comes to mind. Sean Livingston comes to mind, right? Those were good backup guys, role players who would consistently go out there and have good games. The Lakers don't have that. So, I don't really want to even compare the Lakers to the Warriors, like you said as well, because Kerr had much more experience at a higher level than what, Redick is doing on his podcast for him.
Yep. But as a shooter and a guy who was coming off screens and creativity and setting stuff up to get open, I think he's going to be able to draw up a lot of great stuff and has so many ideas. And if you add another piece, which they will, who's that going to be? I don't know, but you get another scorer. I'm excited about the possibility and what they can look like offensively. But it's also now on Pelinka to put this roster together. And, it's great for content because it's either going to work out or it's going to fail miserably, and they're going to be right back in this situation. But it's not the first time it's been done. The list, I was surprised by how long the list is, but it's not impossible. You can't just write the guy off saying he's never done this before. But the thing that has to sting and hurt is I think Hurley takes that job if you came strong with a bigger offer. But they only offered $70 million, which was Monty Williams money.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I mean, you can't even compare the two though with what Hurley's done. So, but.
Okay, so you said all that about Redick, and one of the guys floated out there that they could make a move for. You and I both don't like it. It would be for Trae Young. Rumors have been out there. Trae Young to several teams, right? Like, let's say the Lakers put it. He
immediately did a hourglass emoji after the news. I don't even know what that means.
Right.
But if I think it's a bad fit.
So, but do we trust Redick then with everything that you just said about screens, working off the ball stuff, getting his open shot like that? Is he good enough right out of the gate to realize I have this guy, I know exactly what he's like. I was him kind of like that in my playing career. I know how to utilize Trae Young, and I can make it work with him.
No, I'm concerned about the defensive side of the ball.
The fact that he doesn't play any?
Yeah, right. Terrible. Matador. I echo the sentiments of a lot of people saying when you watch the Western Conference, the Minnesota series, how Minnesota played in OKC, you can't come away with that and saying, well, we need more offense. I mean, the Lakers have to do a better job defensively, I would say. Because I think that with X's and O's and with a coach like Redick, you would definitely have enough firepower on offense. You need a better job defensively, and maybe X's and O's will take care of that as well. But I think Trae Young's a horrible fit.
Yeah, that's all fair in my opinion. And I'll add on, I'm glad you brought up OKC because to me the biggest gambling news yesterday was OKC, the move that they made. I absolutely love it. I couldn't love it anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
Trading Josh Giddey, getting him out of there for Alex Caruso, who, when you look at dunks and threes, the advanced metrics, was the 5th best defensive player in the NBA last year. He was plus 3.4 with the estimated defensive plus minus. And he's been like that now, 2-time defensive player, all NBA defensive player. Now you have Dort, you have SGA, you have this guy in the perimeter. They are better next year already. And there's no way they're close to being done, in my opinion.
They're scary defensively. Shame on the Bulls who couldn't get a pick out of that. How does that happen?
Are you serious?
OKC has so many picks, they don't know what to do with them, and the Bulls couldn't get picks. You take Giddey, who's horrendous, unless he's wide open? Oh, that's a bad trade.
Oh, I love it for OKC. Yeah, you have to. Up next, Game 6, Stanley Cup Final. It's now minus 275. Wow, and a solid day in Major League Baseball. Some big names taking the mound. This guy is 11-2 over his K-prop. Find out the pitcher next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, Bill 80 up early. Come on. The email hits your box right when you wake up. Expert picks, betting strategies, latest odds and trends, links to the VSiN's top reads. Get that newsletter. Sign up for free. VSiN.com/newsletter. Nigel 3-1 with us yesterday. He's not on today. His colleague is, but he has an opinion on the Poland-Austria match at 9 a.m. Pacific. Shoemaker on the WNBA, Matt Humans, NBA Futures. Check it out. Get up there now, VSiN.com/newsletter. Harry Kane, good job.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll get to Game 6 Stanley Cup Final coming up here in a few minutes. Some baseball nuggets for today. White Sox are playing the Tigers to pay off the tease here. Jack Flaherty goes for Detroit. He is the pitcher who was 11-2 over his K-prop. Most of the year, that K-prop number has been 5.5. It was 6.5 a few times, 7.5 once. Today, it's 6.5 over is a little plus money. The White Sox have the 9th highest K percentage in baseball, but opposing starting pitchers do not crush their K props against this team, so keep that in mind. And also, Flaherty, now, he was pushed back recently, and so the start after he was pushed back and he made it again, he only went 5 innings, so they were being careful. He still went over his K prop. So I don't know if it's going to be a pitch limit tonight for him or tonight. If it was 5.5, I would recommend going over, and I'd bet it myself. 6.5. He's been great this year. I don't think I'm going to get there with it, though. Sale and the Braves are favored at Rodon and the Yankees.
I thought the same thing when I saw the line. Yeah, wow, the respect.
Sale at night, 7 starts, 6-1 overall, 11 Ks per 9, 0.75 whip, 1.50 ERA. It's all you need to know. It's been fantastic. Mm-hmm. Rodon at home, however, 5 starts, 2.30 ERA, 4-0 with a 0.83 whip. So this is, on paper, a great pitching matchup. Keep this in mind. Lifetime. Do what you want. DJ LeMahieu, it's a very small sample size. Only 10 career at-bats. Has 7 hits, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs off Chris Sale. So this guy's done really well, but only in 10 plate appearances, or 10 at-bats, I should say, in his career.
Yep, good card. Imanaga at home. He's been untouchable at home.
Yep, 7 starts, a 1.31 ERA at home so far this year.
Yep, and you also have Trevor Rogers goes today. You might say, who cares, so what? The Marlins are 1-13 when he starts. Personally, he's 1-8 with an ERA of 5 and change. But 1-13 when he starts, and they keep giving him the ball. And he's going against Kirby and the Mariners.
Well, that's great information.
And I'm sure they're going to be in a bad mood after what happened against Cleveland as well. So I really like the Mariners and Kirby, and just Rogers at 1-13, unbelievable how bad he's been. And Cleveland, by the way, now 23-9 at home with another win.
All right, so it's a good card overall. Some really good pitchers going, like we talked about. It's unfortunate that Flaherty got banged up a little bit, because I know people who have some high prices on him to win the Cy Young as well. We'll see. A lot of baseball left, as we've seen this week, by the way. Like Skubal, roughed up now back-to-back games. Zach Wheeler got roughed up. Some other guys who were big-name pitchers in the running here had some bad starts. Like, is that bad start ever going to happen for Imanaga at home? This is wild what's going on with this guy. Mm-hmm. So that's all going on today, and we have a Friday night Game 6 Stanley Cup Final, and we talked about this a lot the other day about how I think McDavid, if I was voting, I would give him the Conn Smythe, even in a losing effort. Now, that could change with one result tonight. If Florida goes to Edmonton and wins this game and it's 1-0 or 2-0 and Bob pitches a shutout, okay, then maybe the narrative changes a little bit. I told you I was not going to bet it. I would not even recommend a bet, though, because you don't know how people will look at this. McDavid was minus 145 when we talked about it. He's now minus 275 to win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, I agree with what you said the other day, though. Barkov can't get it now. And unless Bob is awesome tonight, I think this is going to happen.
I think Bob...
Even if they lose, he's going to get it. Because of this, the numbers are so good. I mean, this was also on X. He has 5 assists in the playoffs career, more than 5 assists more than Patrick Kane in 71 fewer games. That's absurd.
Wait,
what McDavid's done.
Are you saying for McDavid's career?
Playoff games.
Yeah, in his playoff game career, he's
right. The Blackhawks were always a factor and a force with Kane.
Yeah, that's 15 years ago we're talking about. Yeah. So Kane was around for a long, long time.
And most points ever in a single Stanley Cup playoff. Gretzky 47, Lemieux 44, Gretzky 43, McDavid 42. Still could have 2 more games, Gretzky 40. So what he's done now in back-to-back 4-point games and already breaks the Gretzky's record for assists, I think he's got it. And even if they lose. Now, Johnny Lazarus, who works here at VSiN, Lou Finicaro is coming up. Both think the Panthers win tonight. But, with the McDavid stuff, yes, I think he already has it. And the confidence factor, knowing they have the best player in the world. But they got to stay out of the box. I mean, Florida, 11 penalties in the last 2 games. Special teams again. Edmonton goes 2 of 5 on the power play in the last game, and you get the shorthanded goal right off the bat. So the place is going to be buzzing. You have this ridiculous power play. If they get that first one and go up 1-0, even what Mike Palm said yesterday. I mean, you lose it. Imagine what they're thinking. They're going to blow this and to be up 3-0 in total command. So the last 7 periods, it's 15-4 Edmonton, what they've done. Dominated the third period of Game 3. They win 8-1. They win 5-3. They had the 4-1 lead in the last game. As I said before Game 5, I'll say it again. The first goal tonight is enormous.
Yeah, and
I think if Edmonton gets it, then they can sit on it like they've done, and then we are going 7.
Well, let me flip it, though, for a second here, because we've seen this in the playoffs. When the opposing team gets the first goal in Edmonton, you can hear a pin drop in that place, because they start to pucker up a little bit, and it's squeaky bun time. And those fans have wanted a Stanley Cup championship now for a long, long time, for a once very proud organization, and it's been forever. And they know how good this team is, and they know that they have the best player in the world. But when it gets 1-0 and they're trailing, honestly, it's dead quiet in there, man. So that's why the first goal overall by either team is gigantic tonight. And evidently, Johnny Lazarus and Lou Finicaro are not the only people who are on Florida tonight, because this thing, again, the other day, when it opened up around $1.18, Westgate and Circa were holding tight around that number. Other spots moved to $1.25. Well, that's gone. That's been wiped out. I should say the other way around, because people have been betting Florida here, and that's all the way down to minus 112 now, with the Oilers being favored. So that has dropped at some spots almost 10 cents.
We've also had huge tickets cash for first goal of the game. Which a lot of, Brown, he was 55-1. Janmark was a big price. So a lot of these big tickets have cashed first goal of the game, too.
I think the total is fascinating. In the next, if we get 2 more games, I think the way it goes is over tonight, under Game 7.
Yep.
But
I love the second period over.
The way it's been trending?
Because a lot of these, right, how it's trending, the last 3 games, fireworks in the second period, and it starts off kind of slow. But you're telling me there's not going to be 2 goals scored in the second period tonight? Especially if what we've watched the last 3 games. And the other big thing is what kind of bob we get. No, but I'm with you, those 6 over, 7 under. And maybe they even go to 6 if it's 6-4 tonight or 5-3 or something like that. Right. But that's good bob or bad bob? I think he's talking a little man on the shoulder. Again, that third goal was offensive. That's terrible. Yeah. That goal that McDavid scored, where the hideous angle, and he's not facing the shooter, and his stick's not even on the ice.
He had nothing to work with. McDavid had nothing to work with there, and he got it in.
I couldn't believe his stick wasn't even on the ice. So that's the other angle, too, about if Edmonton gets one early. No, imagine if it's so bad he gets pulled again.
Well, okay. So again, Conn Smythe here for 1 second. If it's 4-3 Florida and they win in 6 games, but McDavid has 2 points, to me, he's got to get the award. Has to. I don't know if award voters will do that though. But does Bob win the award in a 1-0, 2-0 game, and they win tonight? Is that the one scenario where McDavid loses?
How many saves?
He's got 28 saves.
Is it a blitzkrieg? Yeah. He's back in the running. He's got to shut him out though.
I think it's got to. That's the one way he wins the award is if like nothing happens offensively. Yeah. And either he allows one or it's a shutout.
Yeah. But again, we just went through this with Jason Tatum. And it's how do you handicap humans in these votings here with what they're going to do? But yeah. I've come around to your side that he's got this now. Even if they lose in 6, he's going to get it. It's historic what he's done. But it's also the fact that Edmonton's in this position. Not so much down 0-3. They were terrible against Vancouver. They were lucky to win that series.
They had some bad games against the Kings, I thought.
Yeah, right. I mean, Vancouver's best player was out. They got a third-string goalie, and Edmonton's life and death in that series. And then they found the power play finally at the back end of the Dallas series. But I got to see it. We have to get a Game 7 here.
Oh, that would be...
Everything's on the line then. Canada ending the drought. The historic comeback. Is Florida going to blow this? Nothing else is going on.
Well, plus that's Monday night, right?
It'd be Monday night.
Monday night. That would just be... Come on, please. Get it done. Take care of this. And you're saying this is a guy who has Florida, a nice bet on them to win the Cup. Give us some juice.
Yeah.
But they were dead and buried after 3 games.
But this is something you can't handicap, though. Is this, again, is Florida could continue to be undisciplined? Because they found their game on the power play now.
You're right.
It's just it's a cheat code what they have on the power play. Yeah, so if you're going to take stupid penalties, then you deserve to lose.
Right. The more you keep giving them chances like that, 11 over 2 games to the box, eventually the dam's going to break. Mm-hmm. Up next, we will preview the Denver Broncos. The team was already going to be bad. Then the league went out and did this to them. Find out what next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Mitch, Paul, Vegas, Circa. Friday morning here. A lot going on. Busy show up until 10 o'clock Eastern live this morning. And we have been doing NFL previews all week. It continues today with the Denver Broncos in the AFC West. I didn't even bother writing down their Super Bowl odds, nor did I write down their AFC championship odds. They're not winning. They're not. They're one of the worst teams in football. So why even bother talking about it? They are 18-1 to win their division. Division wins in the West, 2.5 over is plus 125. Is this team going to get to 3 wins?
Yeah.
In the AFC West, the playoffs to make it, they're 7-1. And I looked at the starting quarterback. They do have some intriguing numbers on the board to examine. Starting quarterback week 1 at DraftKings, Bo Nix now minus $4, Zach Wilson plus 450, Jared Stidham plus 650.
Wilson's ahead of Stidham?
I'm not a talent evaluator. How is Stidham 650 and Wilson plus 450?
I'm not sure. It's Nix in week 1. Can't wait to talk to Mike Pritchard. He'll have more on that. They want him to win the job right off the bat. I don't know if he will. But the second worst odds behind New England, longest odds to make the playoffs. And they are priced like the worst or second worst team in football by the odds makers. Fewest wins, 6-1. New England plus 340. Last winless, they're 11-1. But some of that, based on the schedule. Fewest points, New England plus 320, Denver 4-1. And I thought it was a great coaching job by Peyton last year. I don't like how he handled the Wilson thing at the end, but this team got off to that horrible start and they lost 70-20 to Miami. And then they turned it around, got hot, won 6 of 7, even beat the Chiefs. And they were thinking playoffs.
Went to Buffalo and won at the Bills on Monday night.
That's right, that too. So, yes, they were 8-9 and outscored by 56 points, but a lot of that was the Miami game. But how they turned it around, found something defensively, were in a position to make the playoffs, and then the debacle on Christmas Eve happened at home against the Patriots and finished 8-9. So, but there's just not much talent here. So you're breaking in a new quarterback, and if it's not going to be Nix, you're going Stidham or Wilson. Good luck. And then you got rid of Judy, and who are the playmakers? What are you going to do offensively? So this is a long rebuild, and I agree with the odds makers. Last place team and one of the worst teams. I think the Patriots are better than Denver. But this probably the worst team in the AFC.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close. I think the odds are, I think they're there for a reason.
Well, the Patriots have a good defense, though.
Yeah, they do.
And if you get anything out of the quarterback position.
So they have the Broncos going into the season, they have the 8th hardest schedule. On top of that, this is what happened with the league, not giving them any favors. Their net rest disadvantage, it's negative 17 days. So their opponents have plus 17 days rest advantage overall throughout the totality of the season. That is tied for second with the Colts for second worst. The only team with a higher negative rest differential is the San Francisco 49ers. So meaning that they're going to be coming off these short spots while the teams that they're playing are going to have extended days rest. And that could be a killer for a team, probably going with a rookie quarterback right out of the gates. And look, I mean, the Jerry Jeudy thing, you're exactly right. When you look over at the depth chart, like who's going to really do anything offensively? Or Courtland Sutton has been a pretty damn good receiver in his time in the NFL. I also look at the running backs. Javonte Williams, in theory, is going to be back. But the kid to watch is going to be Jaleel McLaughlin, who came on like gangbusters last year, like out of nowhere. And evidently, according to reports like in the OTAs, has looked fantastic so far this season. And we got a tweet from Rob Tola saying that Williams, because of the injury and getting benched, and Sutton, TD regression, would be 2 prime examples of player unders that you'd like to recommend this year. And I think I would totally agree with both of them. And I think McLaughlin probably gets more playing time. And I like Javonte Williams, but the injuries, man, it's too much to overcome at some point. And all those red zone touchdowns for Sutton eventually probably diminish or get wiped away. So I think the regression there is probably going to be real.
Yep. I really like the under. I don't see how they get to 6 wins. The Raiders made some nice moves in the offseason. Certainly a lot of people making the case for the Chargers to at least win 9 games. I know Humans is going to get on that in the guide. But I also love the angle that the league comes out right away and they play the Steelers. So you have Wilson going against the Broncos in the bad blood there after how that was handled. So yeah, it's a total rebuild, and I don't even remember. People were saying it's outrageous. You can't take Nix before the first 2 rounds, and they did, and where they selected him. So if that's going to be your starting quarterback right away, or either at some point, I don't see it. And I know he's making a lot of money, but I thought there was a better jobs out there for Peyton, and so he could have done a better job handling things. But this is a last place team, and I don't see them winning 6 games. No way.
To win Coach of the Year this year, Sean Payton's 30-1. Remember, he was the favorite last year. He was the Jim Harbaugh of last year. Everybody assumes the Chargers are going to win 9-10 games. He's going to turn it around, and he's going to win Coach of the Year. That's what people thought with Sean Payton. Like, it didn't work in year 1 with Hackett and Russell Wilson. Payton's going to go there and work wonders. Never really panned out like that, so he didn't win. Now he's down the board to begin this year. The most rookie passing yards prop, Bo Nix is plus 480. Again, 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Unless Kirk Cousins gets hurt again, Penix probably won't play much, if any at all. So he's going to have to overcome at least Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. I would actually like him probably a little bit more than Drake May, because I do think Nix is starting in week 1. I don't know what's going to happen with May in New England, right? But plus 480 to beat out other guys, I'm not sure that's high enough for me. Bo Nix passing yards on the year, 2850.5. Again, these player props go under more than they go over. Connor Allen from 4 for 4 was doing this yesterday on X. It was more than 60% last year. If you bet every player prop blindly going into the season, it was more than 60% of the unders came in.
We also has a great breakdown on like 6 things can happen. 6 different things can happen that would affect your bet if you went over.
100%.
And there's certainly it's all. If one of the 6 happen, you're cooked.
Yes.
Injury, bench, coaching change, tanking, all the list goes on. You lose your job. They want to get another guy with more time, whatever.
So even if Nix is the week, and he's $4 are going to be the week 1 starter,
Yeah.
I have zero desire to bet him over 28.50 with the passing yards. His touchdowns is 17.5. That's only an underplay in my opinion. Offensive rookie of the year with Nix is 18-1. Now, he should be shorter than Drake May, but again, there's a lot of competition when you look at the quarterback spot, but also look at how many good wide receivers. And I think like the landing spots for some of these receivers that went in the first round and beyond, I would rather have Marvin Harrison at a much smaller number to win Offensive Rookie of the Year than Bo Nix. I think a guy like Brian Thomas might pop with Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I would pass on him. Most INTs on Nix is 22-1. He did not throw a ton at Oregon, but I will say this about the guy. I don't think it matters, but I went to 3 games watching him play in the last 2 years. It's dink and dunk across the board. They rarely, if ever, took shots down the field. So is that the way it's going to operate here in the NFL as well?
Even if Williams struggles this year, there's these wide receivers are awesome. And also, and Daniels could put up numbers too. I just can't. There's no way I could recommend anything on Nix.
Right.
McCarthy's odds are ridiculous. He might not even play this year.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Shaw move?
Well, hold on real quick.
Okay,
I didn't even bring up Malik Neighbors. I don't like his spot with the Giants, but also like a guy like Keon Coleman with the Bills, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Way better candidates here to bet on Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, David Shaw, as long as he has nothing to do with the coaching decisions.
Yeah, executive now with the Broncos. So bye-bye kicking field goals from the 1 and 2 yard line now. Won't see that anymore. Surprised by that news yesterday as Denver gets that done.
I wanted to point this out. Circa offers great numbers on like season-long awards. They have Patrick Surtain, who is thought of as one of the best, cornerbacks. He's 200-1. Other spots have 75 to 100-1. Always shop around and stuff like this. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Worst team in the league? Worst team in the AFC?
Could be in the mix. I
don't know about Carolina, but Carolina has iron because Carolina's in a bad division. I mean, you got to. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do, but you got the champs right here in your division as well.
Well, what do we think about Tennessee?
I don't. That's a tough call. I don't know.
The
you
new
might have
coach
something
angle.
there too. Right. I also love under 2.5 wins in the division. You're going to get swept by the Chiefs. The Raiders own you. The Raiders always win in Denver for whatever reason, right?
It's actually, I think,
then you're gonna have to sweep somebody to go over, and that might not even be enough.
When I was looking at the numbers, I thought for sure under 2.5 wins was going to be higher than $2. It's minus 155. This team's going to get to 3 wins in their division.
No way. No, I can't see that either. You're going 0-2 against the Chiefs, so you're going to win 3 games?
That's the thing. This team has actually played the Chiefs well over the years, but now you're talking about a rookie quarterback here. Are they going to, if they steal one from KC, fine, but that's a huge ask that we're talking about here. Because I'm with you.
Yep.
KC should sweep them. Hello, Captain Obvious checking in. And then it's going to have to be 3-1 minimum against, come on.
Yep. I came around a little bit on the Raiders. I was, and a JT the Brick will be on the program next week. But they made a lot of good moves. Now it comes down to Minshew and what happens at the quarterback position. But you think you were in the position to make the playoffs, and you had O'Connell out there.
I'll tell you this. If they added a better quarterback in the offseason, I'd be betting the Raiders to make the playoffs. Pauly's going to recap last night's betting action in Win Some, Lose Some next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, we got a lot here. This is going to be fun. Slovenia, Serbia draw plus 275. Denmark, England draw plus 250. Tom Kim, first round leader, 37-1. And for the 6th time in the Euros tournament, we've had an own goal. Now, we need your help. This is hard to find, but I remember it was all over the place when we were talking World Cup, and you could find this. I bring it up because it's usually, if my memory serves, it's like 7, 8, 10-1 in that range. As Nigel tweeted, it leads the Golden Boot now. I mean, we've had 6 own goals already, and if that's 8-1, what a start to this tournament. Has it happened again yesterday?
We also got feedback from big soccer fans who do not like how these are getting graded or ruled during the match. For example, if a guy is kicking it towards the net and it goes off a defender and goes in, they're calling that an own goal. Like that's not an own goal. That's absurd.
Yeah.
And that's not they were not doing that in the World Cup.
Well, we also had controversy, and imagine if you had this. In one of the matches, somebody scored 10 minutes. It was an own goal, 10 minutes in. In the same match, in the 92nd minute, they changed it and credited it to a player.
Well, that will get corrected then with the betting market.
Or maybe if they posted it and graded it right away. Maybe if you had
some books will grade that right away.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Maybe if you actually had the ticket. I don't know. That's wild too. And Sparks Liberty over 162.5 up to 167.5. 93.80 Liberty. That goes over. And the Padres. I'll put it with win some. Padre fans lose some for Derek Stevens. Remember, if the Padres have a walk-off win at home, Circa gives away limo, airfare, a suite here, $500 at the steakhouse at Barry's, $2,000 for a cabana here at Stadium Swim, drinks at the Legacy Club. They did it 2 times all of last year. 3 straight home games the Padres have won on a walk-off.
3 straight. Remember, they were crying earlier this year. It doesn't happen. We don't get walk-offs.
Yeah.
Well, careful what you wish for.
That's right. That's right. Subscribe, be part of the team. vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. 13 years ago, yesterday, the Bruins won the Stanley Cup and went to Foxwoods. And their bar tab was $156,000. In the service charges, almost $25,000. They got off easy. You look at this, somebody got the big bottle, the Ace of Spades. That thing was... They also got off easy with the water. 13 years ago, they got 67 Fiji for $2.68. $4 for a bottle of Fiji. Well, come on. You're looking at probably 15 now. I love the guy someone got an Amstel Light and a Corona. Like, who are you kidding? You see 9 bottles of Grey Goose, 4 bottles of Crown, 35 Jaeger bombs. The Bruins did it the right way. In a $156,000 tab when it was all said and done. But it's fun to go through it and look at it about some of the stuff about who would order this. And then you see the water on there and then some of the stuff in one Corona, one Amstel Light.
I mean, we're looking back now. Some of the prices are not even that outrageous.
Yeah.
The 7 Jack Daniels at $10 a pop. Wait, what is that? Is that Jack and Coke? Is that a shot of Jack? $10? Okay. Now what is that? $20, $25?
Yeah, someone got a shot of Hennessy, $12. Someone got a Patron Silver, $12. I mean, that's you get off easy there.
Oh, we are trained now, to expect beers to be $13 a pop.
I know. That's wild. You mentioned this yesterday on the air. Someone sent in the video. Here it is.
You reminded me of this.
Good for you.
I forgot this existed, this video.
Mitch throwing out the first pitch he talked about at the 51s game, the AAA affiliate here. Good form on the rubber.
I held the wind-up.
Held it.
Boom. Right down the center.
Beautiful.
Point to the crowd. I'm a pork chop. My God, this is 18, 20 pounds ago probably.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good. You didn't embarrass yourself, and you did an excellent job. You worked on it right down the middle. Didn't bounce. Good form.
Somebody was saying that they once sat in front of Jerry Seinfeld at a Mets game.
Oh, no.
And he was talking about throwing out the first pitch. Remember how it was a disaster for him?
I know.
And he was explaining to the person that he was with at the Mets game, he said, it's the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life. And he practiced for a full week.
Stand-up comedian.
It does.
Wow.
Because people are bothered by other things. I wasn't going to screw this up. There's no way. I went out all week long and was throwing the ball around.
All right. I've never seen this before. And this is new. The Raiders are offering premium air-conditioned tailgate spaces starting at $20,000. 4 available per game. There's the video. You see some pictures there as well. And hell of a setup. And then you invite all your friends. You whack it up. You see all the alcohol you have. And you get air conditioned, sit outside. There's an upstairs. There's a downstairs. Giving it a shot. 2-story structure that seats 20. All-inclusive packages, $20,000 per unit.
Hey.
What the Raiders are doing. Love dogs. They're so smart. Look at this. The guy got out. This dog got outside, and he's trying to wave down a human about, help me, I'm out. Ring the doorbell, please. Look at this. Tracks down a human finally. Ring the doorbell. Jumps up, right? The neighbor comes out, rings the doorbell. They open the door. Hey, he got out. Oh, okay, there you go, back home. He knows where he lives. He knows he did something wrong. He tracks down the human. Need your help here. I got out by accident. And then the neighbor helps out by ringing the doorbell. The one video we showed a couple months ago, the dog rang the doorbell.
Sure.
The dog got outside, and he rang the doorbell and then started barking.
The person here in the video actually asked the person who answers the door, is this your dog? And then walks away.
Yeah.
So very good job.
Excellent. One lose some. The Yankees 135 up to 170. How about that? Heel got lit up.
Oh, buried.
17-5 Orioles.
Yeah, he's the guy I forgot to mention. Some of these starters are getting blown up here this week.
Mm-hmm. That was the one lose some. Let me. What do you think of this tweet? So we talked about it yesterday. This was Ken Palm after the show. 76 teams is totally irresponsible expansion. I don't understand why people are so hostile to it. It would have been cool to have Indiana State in last season's tournament. So what if it came with St. John's and Oklahoma joining them? He says 80's the perfect number. Ken. Come on, Ken. No. You can't.
Well, last year,
I tell you, and every comment doesn't agree with him. That's what I like, though, too.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Watering down the product, the bad records. Everyone gets a trophy. We're getting out of control here.
Right. Last year, it was a good bubble. Those three teams are good examples. Well, I'd say two, St. John's and Indiana State for sure.
Yeah.
How many years in recent times have we had a good bubble?
Yep. I know. I think that's what he's forgetting, no doubt. So I put that under lose some. Let's go to Norway. This rock.
Thousands of people go here and visit it every single year.
Are you serious?
Look at that.
Oh, no. The boulder that's stuck in the middle and you cry. I couldn't. Oh, no.
I had a tough time getting through this video.
Why would you? Oh, I can't. I'm afraid of heights. I said no chance. No.
I'm okay with certain, like roller coasters, whatever, going to the top of the stratosphere doesn't bother me. But something like this, oh, man.
No.
Look at this.
Oh, no.
Look at that video.
Looking all the way down. I can't do it. No. In Norway, where the boulder's stuck right in the middle and people standing on it, and then it's just, that's something out of Game of Thrones.
It's Mission Impossible.
Like it. That too, right?
You're thousands of feet up.
Yeah.
If you slip, see you later.
No way. Couple of bad beats. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, and it happened again. Serbia tied it on the last kick of the game in the 95th minute. The worst beats happen in soccer, I'm telling you. Slovenia plus 445 was a tough beat. Serbia scores. The keeper comes up, everybody comes up, and they score on the final kick. Denmark, England over 2.5. It was 1-1 in the 35th minute. 1-1 was the final. Our NFL betting guide comes out next week. Your ultimate resource for the football season. Division previews, team previews, prop bets, win totals, best bets. You got to be a VSiN Pro subscriber to get it. Sign up for the annual subscription for $1.99. It works out to 13 months, less than 50 cents a day. VSiN.com/subscribe, code FTM. Code FTM. Get it now.
You brought up the one game with the movement yesterday in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark she's had a couple of really good games in a row. She's minus 3,000 to win the Rookie of the Year again. Are we just going to forget about Angel Reese?
16 and 18, I believe.
Yesterday, she is killing it like the last 6-7 games.
Yep.
But because of the hype with Caitlin Clark, doesn't matter. It was a disastrous start, first, 10 games or so. She's still minus 3,000 to win Rookie of the Year. She was minus 650 a week and a half ago. Now a couple of good games, it's over with.
Well, isn't it interesting how it works out? Because if you look at the Mystics are awful. The Brink girl's out for the year.
I know.
So it looks like, because there's 12 teams, 8 get in. It looks like that final playoff spot will be decided between Chicago and the Fever.
And they play again this weekend.
And they play Sunday.
That's
right?
in Chicago.
Yeah, and it was the highest rated WNBA game in 23 years when they played last Sunday. And the Fever won. So,
and I'm sure this game's going to, because of what happened, Reese coming across the top with the hard foul. A lot of talk about that this week. I'm sure the ratings for the game on Sunday will be even higher. I don't think Reese is dead in the Rookie of the Year market. She can't be. The numbers are too good.
Rebounding machine, yeah.
Up next, we'll talk Euros. Steve Wiss going to join the program. He works with Nigel Seeley. He loves the card overall this weekend. We'll get into the outright market as well coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.